ग्रेट, ठीक है। Okay, hello everyone, good evening, namaste and salam alaikum people. Hi, this is Mariya Khan, your master teacher of biology here at Vedantu. And hello guys, how are you all? Here in Mumbai, it's like too cold. What's up at your place? How's the weather out there? Hi Arvind, Mariya Ma'am Army, yes, that's your army. Amir Malik, whether it's 330, 300, 3000, 3 lakh, it doesn't matter. If what we teach, if it impacts one single individual, I feel that the purpose of coming here on YouTube gets served. We want to make education accessible for everyone. Okay, that's our motive. So, and we start from somewhere, right? We start from somewhere. So yes, post me a yo guys. And why my image is so small over here? भाई कुछ तो पंगा है, इसको मैंने थोड़ा बड़ा करना है क्या? नहीं, just a sec. हाँ, now it's perfect, right? So कहाँ थी मैं? यहाँ थी. And so let's start. अरे या ठीक है. So hi ma'am, waiting eagerly for this session because pre-boards are starting soon from mid-Feb. Yes. So guys, post me a yo in the chats, and without wasting any further time, let's quickly get started. Students, the most difficult part of the challenging part from this chapter is primarily sexual reproduction in plants. See, you have studied asexual modes of reproduction in grade 8. You have studied puberty and adolescence in grade 8. You also have a slight idea about the male and the female reproductive system. But what you have never studied is reproduction in plants, sexual reproduction in plants, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, sexual reproduction in angiosperms. So in examination, a question can be thrown in different manner. Like, explain how sexual reproduction takes place in flowering plants. Explain how sexual reproduction takes place in angiosperms. Explain how plants reproduce sexually. So the same answer is expected, but the question that is framed is in different ways. So we are going to understand this topic especially in detail. Rather, you don't have in that much detail, but yes, whatever it is, we are going to study this in complete detail. So if you're excited, curious, and if you want to excel well in your examinations, and I assure if you wait till me right till the end of the session, if you be with me right till the end of the session, you will never have any kind of doubts from this topic. So yeah, hit on the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit on the bell icon. Okay, so yeah, chalo, Anand, Arvind, Sami, let's start. Chalo, here we go. Okay, so guys, what are we going to exactly study today? Of course, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, but prior to that, let us quickly recap, okay, about the basics of sexual reproduction, which we actually studied right in the beginning of the chapter. Okay, so basics, let's brush up the basics. Okay, now sexual reproduction involves two parents, like bull plus cow, calf, cock plus hen, chicken. Okay, however, it is not just limited to animals. Sexual reproduction is also exhibited by plants. Okay, Now we also discussed that in sexual reproduction, when two parents are involved, 50% of the DNA is given by the mother, 50% of the DNA is given by the father, and they do not donate their DNA, but they create a copy of their DNA, and that copy is passed into the offspring. Now, copying the DNA is a biochemical process. It's a chemical reaction. And this biochemical process is not 100% accurate. And when it is not 100% accurate, these inaccuracies lead to variations. And variations are very important. They help in developing the biodiversity that we have today. They help organisms to adapt to various habitats. They help an organism to evolve. It prevents extinction. So variations are very important, and variations are seen primarily, or we see greater variations in organisms who reproduce sexually. Correct? Yaad aaya? है ना? So no, Rashmika, you are not late, beta. Welcome to the session. And now, before we could proceed further, I want to tell you that whether it's plants or animals, organisms have primarily cells categorized into two different types, multicellular organisms. Okay, one, the reproductive cells, the cells which help in reproduction. So those reproductive cells are what we call it as gametes. Gametes. Okay, so the sperm cell in males and the egg cell in females, these are the gametes. Okay, now the normal body cells, body is what we call it as soma. So normal body cells, the non-reproductive cells, are what we call it as somatic cells. Okay, Yashashwini, do watch the very first session of this chapter. We have discussed there why organisms reproduce. Okay, sure. Now the reproductive cells are called as gametes, and gametes are involved when it comes to sexual reproduction. Okay, now students, in human beings, okay, in human beings, the male gamete, that is the sperm cell, okay, sperm cell is small and motile. It's small and it is motile. Motile means it can move. But when we talk about the female gamete, that is the egg cell or the ovum, it is comparatively larger, but it is non-motile. Okay, so therefore fertilizations in human beings is internal. The male gamete travels right up to the female gamete for the sake of fertilization. Okay, so hence fertilization in human beings is internal. It happens inside the female body. Very important, gave reason why human beings exhibit internal fertilization. So you will write, human beings reproduce sexually with the help of gametes. The male gamete is sperm, which is small and non-motile, whereas the female gamete is larger in size as it stores food. However, it's non-motile. Therefore, during sexual intercourse, the male sperm is released into the female reproductive tract so that it can reach till the female gamete, and thus fertilization takes place internally within the female body. So you can expect this question for 2 to 3 marks. Okay, ठीक है? And angiosperms, reproductive part, can we call beta angio? Angiosperms means the flowering plants. Okay, gymnosperms, non-flowering plants. Angiosperms means flowering plants. Okay, okay, Jaideep. So if you're understanding, if you're finding this information to be useful, like, share, subscribe and post me a yo. Okay, chalo. Now let's talk about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So another name for flowering plants is angiosperms. Guys, you had this chapter in your grade 9. that is diversity in living organisms, which was unfortunately omitted from your syllabus. So angiosperms was well described in that chapter. Now that you had skipped, and hence you face the problem here. Okay, chalo. And Chanchal, test tube baby, IVF, and this and that, all the modern reproductive techniques, we are not going to discuss in this session. We can have another additional session, okay, for all those stuffs. Of course, there's a mentee today. Okay, chalo. Here we proceed further. Now, guys, when we talk about sexual reproduction in flowering plants, they should definitely have a reproductive organ. Do plants have a reproductive organ? Yes. Flower is the reproductive organ in plants, in angiosperms. Okay. And now, so bachcho, when we say that flowers are the reproductive organs, let us draw the structure of a typical flower. Okay, structure of a typical flower. Now, you all have actually studied this in grade 8, but still, how many of you remember it? How many of you remember it? So, let us draw the stalk of the flower. The stalk of the flower is called as the pedicel. Okay, pedicel. Now, on top of the pedicel, we see a structure something like this, the green colored parts, which we call them as sepals, right? Then, right in the center of the plant, right in the center of the plant, we see, right in the center of the flower, we see a swollen base like structure. Okay, and then a long tube followed by it. Okay, and on top of that there is a sticky part. So this sticky part is what we call it as stigma. Okay, this tube is what we call it as style, and then the swollen base, which we call it as ovary. Okay, style, stigma and ovary. Now style, stigma and ovary form the female part of the flower. Female part. Okay, female part, which we call it as carpel or pistil. Okay, carpel or pistil. Now, this flower is having only one carpel, but some flowers can literally have many carpels or pistils. Okay, okay. So, carpels form, okay, numerous carpels or pistils are the members of, let me use another color, gynoecium, that is the female reproductive part. Okay, okay. Now inside the ovary we see numerous ovules, right guys? Perfect. Now that we have drawn the female part, let us draw the male members as well. Okay, now 1, okay, yeah. sorry for the overlapping components, but I'm absolutely sorry because there is literally limited space. Okay, ठीक है, चलो. Now Chanchal, I'll answer all the stuffs, better be patient. Okay, so here we see that there is a lobed structure which we call it as anther, and the stalk of the anther is what we call it as filament. Now anther and filament is collectively called as stamen. Okay, anther and filament is collectively called as stamen. Men, stamen, men, stamen. Okay, so here in this particular diagram you can see how many stamen. You can spot how many stamen. How many stamen? How many stamen? Stamen nahi, stamen. How many stamen? How many stamen? 4. So stamens are the members of the male part which is called as androecium. Okay, the female part is what we call it as gynoecium, and the male part is what we call it as androecium. Okay, now can you spot the sepals which are green in color? How many have I sketched? How many have I sketched here? 2. But yes, of course, there are numerous. So sepals are the members. Okay, sepals are the members of calyx. Can you see? Can you see? Like this is very light color, calyx. Okay, perfect. Okay, now let us move to the large and the colorful part. Which color shall I use? Yellow. Okay, chalo. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 2 and 3. Understood? So what are these colorful structures? Which are these colorful structures? These colorful structures are, which color should I use? Color, which color? Okay. These colorful structures are petals. Now how many petals have I drawn here? How many petals have I drawn here? How many petals have I drawn here? Tell me. 5. So petals form the members of corolla. Okay, ठीक है? So if I wish to like summarize this, just a sec, keep enter, okay, and then again present. Okay, हो जा भाई present, perfect, ठीक है? So we have 4 parts: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, right? So these are what we call it as floral whorls. That is the parts of a flower. ठीक है? Now these floral whorls have their members. Now who are their members? Who are their members? Sepals are the members of calyx. Petals are the members of corolla. ठीक है? Stamen are the members of androecium, and each stamen is made up of anther and filament. right, right, right. Yep. Hi Palak beta. And then gynoecium is made up of carpel or pistil, and each carpel or pistil is made up of three parts: sticky, stigma, elongated style, and a swollen base which is called as ovary. And inside the ovary there can be one or multiple ovules. Correct? 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 Yup. Hi Surekha. So now guys, calyx, green in color, they protect the flower in the bud condition and they perform photosynthesis. Corolla, that is the petals, they are large and vibrant in color. Why they are large? They protect the flower in bloomed condition. They attract the insects for pollination. Then comes androecium. That's the male part. Now, what's the function of androecium? So, we'll talk about that as well. So, just a sec. I'll come back to those slides again. So, if we see that this is the anther and this is the filament. Now, the anther produces yellow colored structures, powdery structures, and these structures are what we call it as pollen grains. So we all have seen hibiscus flowers, है ना? Hibiscus flowers have this yellow colored tips. So what is that yellow colored powder? What is that yellow colored powder? That yellow colored powder is nothing but pollen grains. Okay. So androecium, which is made up of stamens, and stamen is further made up of anther and filament, and anther is the one which produces yellow colored pollen grains. Okay, ठीक है? Yup, perfect. हाँ. Then moving further, guys, if we talk about gynoecium, gynoecium has sticky stigma. Can anyone tell me why stigma is sticky? Why stigma is sticky? Alivelu Manga Kola, ma'am, requesting you to complete the chapter a bit faster. Beta, this time the questions are not going to be straight. They are going to be twisted. So here we are not running behind any kind of motive. We want a detailed, thorough understanding of the chapter. Okay? So Anush, sepals protect the flower in bud condition, petals protect the flower in bloomed condition. Huh. Anush is right, stigma is sticky so that pollen grains can stick to it. But why is it sticky? Why is it sticky? Why is it sticky? Why stigma is sticky? Can anyone tell me? There are so many kids watching the session. Can anyone tell me why the stigma is sticky? Why the stigma is sticky? Come on, you guys are awesome. Can you tell me? Because of which substance, because of which chemical, because of which component the stigma becomes sticky? समझ गई मैं, पोलन ग्रेन्स उसके ऊपर आके चिपक जाते, लेकिन वो चिपचिपा बना कैसे? बना कैसे? Can anyone tell me why the stigma is sticky? चलो. Okay, let me tell you. The stigma is sticky because of the nectar, sugary nectar. Understood now? Understood? The butterflies come, they hover around flowers, they collect the nectar. This nectar is there on the stigma. And nectar is sweet, sweet means sugar. So this nectar makes the stigma sticky. Will you now remember this? If in examination the question is being asked, will you be able to answer this? Why the stigma is sticky? Jaideep beta, keep doing the social service. Okay, please post the link. Okay, go ahead and post the link. Chalo. Great. Now the stigma is sticky. It's because of the nectar. And when the pollen grain lands on the stigma, it gets stuck to it. Okay, it gets stuck onto it. So here is the homework for you all, and you have to practice the labeling of this diagram. Okay, practice labeling as well as try to write down its function. You may definitely expect a question for 1 to 3 marks from this diagram only. Okay, and mind well, this is not a hibiscus flower. This is the structure of a typical flower. Okay, typical flower. Perfect. Great. Now students, here is the summarization of the diagram which I had sketched. Sepals, petals, then stigma, style, ovary, which forms the pistil or the carpel, anther and filament, which forms the stamen. Okay, okay, great. Now students, I told you the male members androecium, female members gynoecium. So not all flowers will have both the male members and the female members. No, not every flower will have a stamen and carpel. No, some flowers will have only stamen, which we call it as staminate flowers. Some flowers will have only and only pistil, pistillate flowers. Okay, so staminate flowers or pistillate flowers, they are having flowers of only one sex, only one sex. So these kind of flowers are what we call it as unisexual flowers. Okay, for example, in case of papaya, let me tell you guys, I have this very hilarious memory from my childhood. My mother is a plant lover, but she loves to plant only the plants which give her fruits and flowers. Okay, so we had this papaya plant in our backyard, and it always flowered, but it never gave fruits. So my mama ji told कि टूटी हुई चप्पल टांग दो पौधे पे. She actually took an old worn out slipper and she fixed it on the plant. It didn't help. Then the next time my mama ji came again, he told कि cover all the papaya flowers with a black cloth. नजर लगती है लोगों की, evil eye. So she did that as well. Didn't work. Okay. Then he said he give a cut on the plant on this particular day and blah 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 blah. मुझे याद भी नहीं है. She did that as well. Okay, it didn't help. The plant never produced fruits. कभी भी नहीं हुआ. Finally, my mom started neglecting the plant, and one fine day it died. I still fight with my mom for that evil action of hers कि मम्मी फल नहीं दिया तो तुम के पौधों को मार डालोगे. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Back then, I never knew the concept of unisexual and bisexual plants or flowers. Okay. Now tell me, can a man ever become pregnant? Can a man ever become pregnant? Tell me. Tell me, everyone. Chanchal Singh, there is literally no one at my home. From where will you get a background noise? Not even a single person. मतलब हद है भाई. So a man can never become pregnant, and likewise a staminate flower plant, a plant which bears only male flowers, how can it ever bear fruits? So that papaya plant was a male papaya plant. Okay, but then even if there is a female plant in the vicinity, it can never develop fruits without a male plant nearby. Yes or no? Yes or no? So what my mom did was totally wrong, evil, cruelty on plants. So even the male plants have the right to survive. Correct? हाँ. अरे चंचल, छोटे बच्चे भी नहीं है यहाँ पे, कोई नहीं है यहाँ पे, इतना सन्नाटा है भाई यहाँ. Okay, great. Chalo. आगे. Now, hibiscus flower, mustard flower, okay. These flowers, okay, they have both the male members, that is stamen, as well as the female members, that is the carpel. Such flowers are what we call it as bisexual flowers. Okay, ठीक है, great. Okay. Acha, why Ahmed also said कि my mom also did the same na. So we need to educate our mothers, है ना? Charity begins at home, education begins at home. And when I became the botany graduate na, and when I learned this fact, I actually had an argument with my mama. Ki mama, why you did so for this many years? I was fighting without any reason, but now I am having a strong reason. Without male plants, the female plants can never bear fruits. So please bear the plants. Do not mess up. Okay? Yeah. So now we discussed that the stamens made up of anther and filament, and anther produces pollen grain. And ma'am, what is the other name for bisexual plants? Bisexual? Complete flowers, complete. Okay? Complete. Yeah. So, guys, pistil we discussed, the swollen base, ovary, the elongated style, and the sticky stigma. And the stigma, it receives the pollen grain. Okay, stigma receives the pollen grain. And inside the ovule, there is this egg cell. I mean, see, if this is the ovule, okay, if this is the ovule, at the base of the ovule, there will be egg cell. And suppose, eraser, suppose this is the pollen grain, okay? Inside the pollen grain, there will be the sperm cell, okay? Sperm cell. So egg cell is the female gamete and the sperm cells are the male gamete. Okay? ठीक है? Yeah. And ठीक. So now the male germ cell is produced in the pollen grain. Yes, the pollen grain has male gametes. And the female gamete is present in the ovule. So this is the ovary. Inside the ovary, there are ovules, and inside the ovules, there are egg cells. Okay? ठीक है? Now, the fusion of the germ cells means the sperm cell plus the egg cell leads to the formation of zygote. Correct? 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 Yep. Yep. Now, a very interesting question raised by Chanchal. Ma'am, how anther reached the stigma? Okay, we'll talk about that as well. So now, if we see that the pollen grain has landed on the sticky stigma, okay, how it landed? It landed because of pollination. So now let's assume that the pollen grains have landed over the stigma. It will absorb the nectar and it will germinate to produce a tube which is called as the pollen tube. Okay? ठीक है? Cool? Okay. Now, this pollen tube, it grows right till the base of the ovary. Okay? It grows right till the base of the ovary. Now, the male gamete will travel down this pollen tube and it will fertilize the egg cell. Okay? So, the female germ cell gets fertilized by the sperm cell, and this is how fertilization takes place in plants. Now, the very interesting question arrives that, ma'am, how pollination takes place? Okay? So the pollen grains can be transferred. Basically, what's pollination? Okay, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma is what we call it as pollination. The transfer of pollen grains, from anther to the stigma, from the anther to the stigma is known as pollination, yo. Okay, so बच्चों, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma is what we call it as pollination. So if the transfer occurs between one flower or two flowers born on the same plant, for example, there's a plant, okay, and if the transfer occurs, okay, ठीक है, between the same plant, sorry for the color, between the same flower or two different flowers of the same plant, it's known as self-pollination. However, if there are two plants, okay, for example, there is plant A and then there is plant B, of course of the same species, like this is rose and this is also rose, okay. Then let's assume that the pollen grains are being transferred, like एक मेरी balcony में, एक अनन्या सर की balcony में है, and if the pollen grains transfer, okay, from plant A to plant B, okay, from plant A to plant B, ठीक है, or plant B to plant A, then it's known as cross pollination. So if it occurs between one flower or two flowers born on the same plant, self pollination. But if it occurs between two flowers born on two different plants of the same species, then it's known as cross pollination. ठीक है, a hibiscus pollen grain landing on rose, no change. A mango pollen grain landing on lily stigma, no change. It has to be the same species. Okay, getting my point? Great. So if you're finding the session to be useful, like, share, subscribe, post me a yo guys. Now let us talk about the agents of pollination. Now the pollinating agents or the pollinators can be biotic, that is living agents, or they can be abiotic. So in biotic or living agents, there can be insects, birds, bats, snails, ants, snakes, etc. You don't need to remember these names. Om Ignoraya Namaha. Okay? And abiotic, that means non-living agents. They can be wind or water. The pollen grains can blow along with the wind, or they can be carried away along with the water, especially in aquatic plants. Okay? ठीक है? So yeah, these are the pollinating agents. Okay? Yeah, perfect. So now, what exactly happens after fertilization? I told that the sperm cell travels down the pollen tube, it fuses with the egg cell and fertilization takes place. Zygote is formed, right? Correct? So now point number 1, this zygote divides and redivides and forms embryo. Okay, zygote divides and redivides to form an embryo. Okay, now point number 2, where is this embryo? Can anyone tell me where is this embryo? Where is this embryo present? Come on guys, where is this embryo present? Because they are siblings, beta. Bhavana ma'am, Ananya sir, they are brother and sister. So hence they keep on roasting each other. Perfect. Perfect. Satyaditya Gaming, ovule. Embryo is present within the ovule. So if we see that after fertilization, the ovule gets transformed into seed. After fertilization, ovule gets transformed into seed. Okay, okay, and then the ovary begins to swell and transforms into fruit. ठीक है, ovary swells and transforms into fruit. Now tell me guys, do we need all these parts? Anther, carpel, calyx, corolla. Do we need all these parts? Do we need all these parts? Other floral parts wither away. Wither away मतलब सूख के गिर जाते हैं. Okay? ठीक है? So if we talk about seed, of course seed will have embryo. Zygote divides and redivides to form embryo. So yes, there is embryo. Now guys, when we sow the seed, it germinates and develops into a seedling, right? It has no leaves, but still it grows, na? How? Because the seed has stored food. Okay? So seed has two parts. Part 1, it has embryo, and part 2, it has stored food. Okay? Okay guys? Okay? Understood? Understood? Very important question. Negi beta, if there is a seed, it will have a life in it. That's the embryo. And for the embryo to grow, there has to be stored food. Okay? This stored food is utilized by the germinating seed to grow into a plant. Okay? Is there a mentee? Yes, there is a mentee, guys. Be little patient. Okay? Cool. Now, seed germination. The seed has stored food. The seed has embryo. Under favorable conditions, when there is water, when there is manure, or when there is soil, है ना? That time the seed will germinate. Correct? 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 Thank you, Arvind Swami. Perfect. Great, great, great. Yep. No, beta. Seedlings, seeds, in order to germinate, they require darkness. They don't prefer sunlight. Okay? That's the reason why when your mama soaks matki or moong or anything, she will soak in water for 24 hours. She will drain the water and then she will close the dabba. है ना? She'll ensure that there is anaerobic respiration happening. She will ensure that there is darkness so that they germinate quickly. Okay? Yep. Ma'am, is there any name for each germination state, beta? Here is the radicle and here is the plumule, right? And the cotyledons rise, which are the first pair of the green leaves, right? Yep. So this is a summary that zygote divides and redivides to form embryo. Embryo is present within the seed. So yeah, seed contains two parts, embryo and stored food. Ovule develop into seed, ovary develop into fruit, and the other parts, that is petals, sepals, stamen, style, stigma, they shrivel off, wither away. Okay? And seed under favorable conditions, it germinates and develops into seedling. The process is known as germination. Correct? Correct? Ma'am, is germination will happen in all plants? Some seeds are non-viable. In those cases, the germination will not take place. For example, in banana seeds, if you sow a slice of banana into soil, nahin, a plant will never grow. Okay, so some seeds are non-viable. Okay, some seeds even show dormancy. For example, in case of rice, if you sow it this year, it will never grow into new rice plants. It has a dormancy of at least 1 year. तो एक साल पुराने चावल they are sown so that they germinate and develop into plants. Okay, so yeah, there is so much more to study. This is तो ये तो बस शुरुआत है, right? So yep guys, now what's left? Mente is left, but let me tell you guys, our Adtech Fest is going on. Okay, our Ed Fest is going on, and that started from 24th and it will last till 31st of Jan, which says there is flat 50% off on all courses on Vedantu up to rupee 2000. Okay, now that's the offer that we have for you all. Basically guys, let me tell you, we had this EdFest launched few days back, and we had an overwhelming response, and we want that the goodness of Vedantu should reach maximum kids. So for all the subjects, physics, chem, bio, English, maths and SS, all the 6 subjects, there will be detailed discussion on each and every chapter. Every chapter will be taught to you. There will be practice, assignments, mock tests, everything done. There will be analysis of the test that you have appeared. You will get a personalized report. Which area is your strength, which is your weakness, how to cover up, everything. Every session has some fun packed quizzes. Every session. Your doubts are being resolved in these sessions. Apart from that, if you miss certain sessions, you can watch the replays. Even while watching replays, you can play quizzes. And to top all of these, there are n number of micro courses you can attempt. Okay, so बच्चों एक बात बोलो, January is तो gone. You have February and March. April will be examination. चलो reserve March for your revision. 1 month is left. Do you want to dedicate this entire month of February for your studies? Entire 1 month of February for your studies? Hi Alia. है ना? So guys, what if I say, if an entire 1 month subscription is offered to you just at rupee 650? Unbelievable, right? So beta, if you wish to cover your boards from the experts, okay, each and every teacher is super awesome here at Vedantu. So you actually get an opportunity to study from the best. Chalo, let me take you to the website only and show you how it works. Okay, एक ही मिनट बस, कहाँ हूँ मैं, यहाँ पे. So yep, so here this is my dashboard. Can you see my name? Can you see my name? है ना, दिख रहा है क्या? हाँ दिख रहा है भाई, दिख रहा है. So these are the past sessions wherein I conducted this session. So if you click on get notes, you will get the instant downloadable notes in the form of a PDF. Okay, you can download and use it handy whenever, wherever you want. Okay, it's taking time. And then if you want to watch the replay, okay, give me a moment. Yep, you can click on the replay. Okay, and see, अरे आजा भाई. Yep, see, किस सर पे बाल. You get the replay of the entire session. So even if you miss certain part, no worries. You can directly jump onto the quiz slides and play quizzes. Okay. See, you get all the personalized handwritten notes. And if you scroll it further down, let me hide myself for a moment. Okay. Can you see? 0 doubts are 0 doubts solved, because actually the conceptual clarity is attained in our sessions. Can you see how many quizzes were asked? So yes, every session is worth attending, guys, worth attending. Do give it a try. Okay. And now how to enroll with Vedantu. Okay. अरे भाई अनन्या सर आ गए यहाँ पे तो चलो एक ही मिनट so just a sec. So this is the ongoing session, right? You can see your names. Chanchal is there and everyone else is there. So guys, here in the chat, here in the description box, you can see numerous links, right? CBSE Term 2 full syllabus, click on that. Okay, here you get two options, that is light and classic. If you belong to any other grade, you can change it from here. Okay, so with all the basic features, you get this Pro Light, and 4,000 is absolutely a great deal, guys. Absolutely a great deal. See, the actual course price is 7,500, but entire Feb, entire March, and I don't know when your exams are going to be in the month of April. Let's count 2 months. So 2,000 rupees for just a month. Great deal. But I have a super amazing deal as well. Try out a 15 days trial pack at rupees 650. With my coupon code, that is MACPRO, MAKPRO, you get additional 15-day subscription absolutely free of cost. So yeah, kids, try out our 15-day trial pack with MACPRO and get 15-day subscription absolutely free of cost. So chalo, how many of you are going to enroll? Tell me, guys, tell me. And yes, it's time for Menti now. It's time for Menti now. चलो भाई ज्वाइन करो 24330058. Come on Menti. भाई मेरी चाय तो ठंडी हो गई. So ship, smiley, dragon, penguin, fire, crown. Only six. Come on. ये कौन है? कदम, volcano. Come on, guys. Call your friends. Ask them to join the Menti. मजा आएगा. Come on, guys. Come on, everyone. चलो 11 आ गए बच्चे. Froggy is here. I can see 18 kids on the live chat and 12 kids who have joined in here. I'll wait for 15 and then we'll start. Okay? Chalo everyone. Come on. So yeah, let's get started. Yep. Chalo. So here, the first diploid cell is formed after fertilization in plants is known as what? First diploid cell. 2N. Zygote, pollen, ovule, seed. Chalo, come on. Tell me all the 19 kids in the chat. By the way, hit on the like button, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Come on. So 9 kids answered it right. So guys, first cell is zygote. Zygote divides to form embryo. Embryo is present within the seed and seed has two parts, embryo and stored food. Do not get confused. Okay. So, yep. That's great. And let's see the reader board. Let's see the leaderboard. And Nile, what's that dude when AKR Salve marry? Whenever he gets a girl suitable for him, he will. नहीं करनी है तो ठीक है ना, अच्छी बात है, क्यों बेचारे बंदे को हलाल करना है. So Nilay, Arvind Sami, Amisha, Jaideep, Ritika Patil, Chanchal, Sumbul, Deepu, Madhumita, Urin. Congratulations, and let's proceed further. And chalo, ready for the second quiz? Ready, ready, ready? Ready, guys? Ready? Chalo, on your marks, get set, go. Quickly, okay? The male gametes are usually small and dash in nature. Small and immotile, stationary, motile, none of the options. Come on. Ma'am, join कहाँ से करना है? VNEGI, go to menti.com, put in the code 24330058 and you may join in. Okay? I can see 26 kids on the chat and only 16 kids in the Menti. भाई join कर लो यार. So guys, immotile and stationary means one and the same. Immotile, can't move. Can't move means stationary. Okay. Motile means they can move. Sperms can actually swim, right? Yep. Then, next one. Let's see the leaderboard. Come on, क्या बात है? So, Jaideep, wow, Amisha, Ritika, Sumbul, Deepu, Nilay, Arvind Swami, Tweeto. Oh, nice Tweeto. Nitish, Dawn, Chanchal. Congrats. And let's proceed further. Okay? Next one. So, the third one, flashing on your screens now. Which of the following is a term used for reproductive cells found in the organism? Reproductive cells. Somatic cells, gametic cells, diploid cells, polyploid cells. Chalo. Come on. Everyone has voted? Great. So the reproductive cells are what we call it as gametes. Gametes. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Then. मैम आप मेंटी ही करवा रहे हो वो. हाँ, मैं तो मेंटी ही कराती हूँ भाई, मैं तो मेंटी ही कराती हूँ. ठीक है. अमीशा, जयदीप, सुंबुल, दीपू, ऋतिका, निलय, आल्या, मधुमिता, श्रेयांश, वेंचर. Congratulations, congratulations. And let's see the next. Okay. Fourth one. Flashing on your screens now. Pistil is dash reproductive part found in flowering plants. Pistil. Male, female, both A and B, neither A nor B. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Arey, come on, vote. Guys, pistil or carpel is the female reproductive part. Male का तो कितना easy बताया था. Men, stamen. Men, stamen. Stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower. That easy. Literally that easy. Okay. चलो आगे. Come on. So, Amisha, Jaideep, Sumbul, Deepu, Ritika, Nilay, Madhumita, Venture, Alia, Arvind, Sami, congrats. And here we move ahead with the last question. Last. Okay? Fifth one and the last one. Sorry. Here we go. On your marks. Get set. Go. Come on. Guys, hit on the like button, man. This is such an informative session. Hit on the like button. The part of the pistil which is sticky in nature. Sticky? Ovary-ovule style stigma. Your time starts on the count of. अरे शुरू हो गया. मैं भी क्या. चलो जल्दी. Yashashwini says A. Chanchal is saying D. Arvind Sami is saying A. Ritika D. Arvind Sami, your name reminds me of the song. Na 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 na. Stigma. Yes, bachcho, it's sticky stigma because of the nectar present on its top. So let's see who topped the leaderboard. Who topped the leaderboard? So I guess it's Amisha. Amisha. So congrats, Amisha. You are my official Chintu Candy for the day, beta. Amisha followed by Jaideep, Sumbul, Deepu, Patil, Madhumita. I guess आगे का नाम मैं पढ़ नहीं पा रही हूँ. Anyways, congratulations, guys. Congratulations. And it's time for the homework question. है ना? देख ले. चलो. होमवर्क में क्या दूँ? Explain 2 types of pollination. ठीक है? And give 2 examples of biotic and abiotic pollinating agents. Lengthy question. Okay? And what's my name? My name is Mariya Khan. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the session. And ma'am, is there any live session tomorrow? Beta 26 जनवरी है. हम Republic Day celebrate करते हैं, so there will be no session tomorrow. Live session at least. Okay? And see to enroll to grab the deal. Flat 50% off up to rupee 2000. Use my coupon code, that is MACPRO. Okay? MAKPRO MACPRO. And that's it for the day, guys. Let me know the answers in the comment section below. Reach out to me on my mail address if required. And let's meet in the next session. Till then, Allah Hafiz, Milo Wapis, and keep watching Vedantu. Bye, Ritika Bada, Patla Chipur. You know, all my besties are Patil. Priya Patil, Mitali Patil, Prachi Patil. Everyone is a Patil. So Patils are very close to my heart. Bye, Madhumita. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.